I love diversity. So I like to not have my money all in one place. So I would probably tell them like, hey, the returns you're going to get equity-wise in Miami are astronomical. We got to get something in Miami. So if you want this house and I don't think it's a good investment, I won't sell it to you. And I tell them like, you're going to have to find somebody else to put that offer for you. But if you want me to help you and you want me to guide you, then I'll definitely do that. But you have to learn how to listen.
Icon Estates, the Julimar Barreiro Show. Behind the scenes of Florida's most exclusive deals.
Welcome to the first episode of Icon and Estates, the Julimar Barreiro Show. This is your exclusive window into the world of luxury real estate, smart investments, and wealth creation. Each episode will bring you powerful insights about finance, property investment, trending markets, and intimate conversations with industry leaders. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting your journey in real estate, this show will give you the insider knowledge you need to make informed decisions. I'm Julimar Barreiro, one of the most recognized luxury real estate agents in Florida. Enjoy today. Today, I'm thrilled to be here with one of Florida's most recognized real estate agents, my friend Mark Rawmaker. As a fellow Sirhan agent, Mark has set impressive sales records across the state and is known for closing some of the most significant deals in Florida. In this episode, we'll dive deep into our journeys, our business, and why a career in real estate is a world full of emotions and incredible financial opportunities. Let's get started.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for the intro.
Of course.
All right, let's start. So we're both with Sirhan, which is fairly new to the Orlando market, Florida market too. You sell in kind of all over Florida, right? You're Orlando based, but you do Miami, you do Tampa, you do everywhere, right? So let's start with luxury. Let's start with why is Florida luxury so special?
Well, I think it's been very underestimated for like a very long time. We do have some really crazy luxury deals out here. And let's talk about Miami. I think Miami is just the new luxury world, the place everybody wants to be. And it's one of the most attractive luxury markets right now.
Yeah, I love Miami so much. The change that it's happened in the last even 5 years, and it's saying every time I go, I feel like there's 6 new like high-rise buildings or condominiums or something. It feels like a nicer weather New York City.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of Northeast people coming down wanting to get that city vibe, but not be the winter, right?
Of course.
The cool thing I think about Florida luxury is the diversity of it. So you have the beach condos in Miami, but then you can go up the road, go to Palm Coast, and you have these massive
houses,
mansions with like just acres and acres.
Estates.
Yeah, and then you go over, you come here in Central Florida, and you have areas like Reunion and Windermere who are more like where people actually live, and it's not their second home, but they want to live in this luxury, and it's also more affordable, right? So you get the luxury like lifestyle without having to spend 60, 70, 80 million dollars like in Miami, right? If I was going to ask you, if you could buy a luxury property, where would it be, and what lifestyle would you want it to be?
So honestly, it's a really hard question because there's so many I would want to buy.
Yeah.
But I would love to buy a $60 million penthouse in Miami.
Oh, okay. So you want city life?
Yes.
Overlooking the ocean?
Yes. So we actually toured a building over there that it was just impressive. And their penthouse was $60 million. And the views were like 360. You got ocean, you got city, you got green, you had everything.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's where I would head for.
I love it. I think I would probably do the mega mansion with acres.
Of course.
Yeah, like I have so many kids that I'm like, we have to spread out. If advice to a luxury buyer that's maybe from Northeast or from California or even the Midwest, and they want to buy in Florida, and they have $10 million, which isn't ultra luxury, but it's obviously a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Where would you guide them?
Well, I love diversity. So I like to not have my money all in one place. So I would probably tell them like, hey, the returns you're going to get equity-wise in Miami are astronomical. We got to get something in Miami.
Okay.
Then I think Orlando it's the next most growing market right now. So we could get something in Miami and Tampa. I think those 10 million, I would divide them into really good strategic properties in those 3 cities. And that would give them a long-term return. That would make a lot of sense.
I love that. That's smart. That's why you're a good real estate agent. Right?
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to look at my next question. All right. So real estate is undoubtedly a business about building relationship. We talk about price points. We talk about negotiations. We talk about that. But what's your secret sauce in building a trust factor, especially with somebody who wants to make big investments and has their plethora of the agent to pick from? What makes you so special?
So what I think makes me special is I don't treat anybody as just a client. I want to connect with my clients. I want to become their friend. I want them to become my friend. And I want to build that trust. Like, you know, I'm not going to do anything to hurt you in the long run because my reputation is key. Plus, I also want to just keep talking to you. You know, I like you. Not only that, but I do tell all my clients, I won't sell you something I wouldn't buy. So if you want this house and I don't think it's a good investment, I won't sell it to you. And I tell them, like, you're going to have to find somebody else to put that offer for you. But if you want me to help you and you want me to guide you, then I'll definitely do that. But you have to learn how to listen.
So I hear transparency and advising is 2 keys to you that really set you apart, right?
Yeah, setting expectations for me is like the most important thing.
Do you do that at the very beginning of the relationship, or you just continue to always set them through the process?
I do it at the beginning of the relationship, and I pretty much like set the standard really high to where like I don't want to come across like mean or I don't want to come across too strong, but I do have a strong personality and I want to make sure that I guide you the right way and that you're happy at the end of the road and not mad at me.
Yeah. So do you think that strong personality, how does that benefit you? Because you do have a strong personality. And it can come across like a lot of people think that's a negative. And personally, I know you now, that isn't. It's such a positive for you. So how do you think that benefits you in getting real estate clients and negotiating and cross agents?
So a lot of my clients say, well, I know you're going to fight for me. And I know that you're not going to let anything bad happen to me, no matter what the other party wants to do. So I would say that's how it helps. You know, I'm not scared. I'll pick a fight as long as I'm protecting my client. I joke about it, but it's true. Like I kind of like to fight a little bit. Yeah. I think it just brings out my protection or that mom instinct. I don't even know how to describe it. I'll pick a fight if I have to.
Yeah. So real quick, because I'm just curious and I'm going rogue a little bit. What did you do before real estate and what got you into real estate?
So before real estate, I did a lot. I've been working straight out of high school. I did some college, but I kind of wanted to make money.
Sucks.
Yeah, I hope no kids are watching this, but everybody has a path.
Yeah.
I worked at the mall, had 3 jobs at one point, all in sales.
What'd you do at the mall?
So I worked at a kiosk selling like hair pieces.
You were that one. You were the one.
I was.
I always think like those guys should be real estate agents.
They should. I hated it though. I hated like trying to grab people. I was like, people are gonna come talk to me, and I would just stand there and be like, they're gonna come talk to me at some point. And I was the top salesperson without having to be like that aggressive. I worked at Wet Seal, which I don't even think it seals anymore. Yes. I wasn't there for too long, but I used to work at the Florida Mall, and then I had another job at the Premium Outlets by Disney.
Yeah.
The same day, so I had 30 minutes. Like my shift ended at 4 and the other one started at 4:30. So I was like rushing in between malls, and I was selling like frozen yogurt at the other one. After that, I opened a beauty salon. Let's just say that they stole our money.
Oh.
Yeah, and then from there, I applied to a marketing company, not knowing it was going to be a door-to-door sales company. So at that point, I didn't have a choice. I was broke as you could think. So I started selling door to door for about 2.5 years for this company.
Okay.
Then after that, I applied for another job. It was in roofing, but because I had my experience with door to door, my first day there, I sold like 4 roofs. They were like impressed. They're like, okay, you got the job. So I was there for another 2 years. And in that period of times when I started getting my real estate license, and I did roofing and real estate for a little bit.
Okay.
But once the real estate started to kick off, I couldn't focus on the roofing.
And did it
anymore.
happen? Did it happen fast with you? Like
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
clients and
I got
sales?
my real estate license and I had my first client already. And
Really?
so it was kind of like, where do I hang my license? Because this guy wants to put 2 offers on 2 houses. He was an investor.
Got it.
So I started dedicating my career at the beginning to investors. Then I went into wholesaling. And so then I became an investor, and then I became a retail agent.
Got it. So then you were with EXP, right?
Yes.
I was there with them too. So we had a lot of conversations about it, but ultimately what drew you to help like launch Sirhan here in Orlando?
I think, I am the type of person that when I go into something, I dive all in, I give it my heart, and I love to help people. And I hate to say it because I have nothing bad to say about EXP. I love the company.
Sure.
I think it was great. For me, I think it just got too big where my efforts weren't being recognized. I wasn't getting the help that I needed. I was helping everybody grow, but it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm not growing. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I, wanted to really get into this luxury market because I like it. I love helping people. I will sell a house no matter the price point, but it's a different feel, when you're like in Miami and selling houses and all this stuff. And I wanted to experience that too. Plus, I have a 5-year-old. I need to give him more time.
Yep.
And I can't sell 64 homes a year to make what I make when I can sell 10 or 15 and still make what I make. And
Right.
now help other agents that are starting build that, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where I just didn't feel that I fitted anymore in that industry with EXP. And then I went to some of my leaders and I was like, hey, I want to sell luxury. And they're like, what luxury? You live in Orlando. And I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of luxury in
Yeah.
Orlando. And that's the moment that I realized, okay, they can't guide me and they can't teach me anymore
It's time
because
for your own path,
they
right.
just don't have the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
And I heard it was very emotional. I left 110 agents. My best friend and I were business partners, but I don't regret it.
So
I
then
get texts every day.
You
Are
do?
you ready to come back? I'm like, no, I'm not going
it's
back.
different. It's different here. It's
It
different.
is.
So yeah, I think Sirhan, personally, my experience is that it creates validation and authority.
Yes.
Whatever room you walk in, right? No matter who the other person is, and that includes luxury clients, right? People who want to sell and buy at a high price point. Because Ryan did such a good job in New York City establishing that brand, and now it's our job to make it here in Orlando and Miami. So what, with the Sirhan brand behind you, what do you do different for, let's say, a seller that wants to sell their $15 million property? What are you going to do different besides saying, I'm going to market it like everybody says, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not what I'm going to do on my own, but what the company also helps me do. So I think it's like a combination of things. So somebody that wants to sell a $15 million property needs a lot of exposure. So not only just market it, but we need to do events. We need to do like press. We need to do so many other things for people to understand and realize like, hey, this house is for sale. We do the Sirhan videos. We can also involve Ryan into helping us sell these properties, which everybody's looking at him all the time. So if everybody's looking at him, they're going to look at your property. So I just think at 15 million, not just your marketing has to be on point, but all those other extra little things that you have to do to just make sure that house is always popping up. So geo marketing, social media marketing, inviting influencers. Influencers right now are the way to sell. I have a bunch of my friends that are influencers and clients, and any property that we put through their pages kind of gets a lot of movement, a lot of questions like, hey, how do we get this property? What's the price? And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You might not get the buyer right away from there, but people know people. And that's all I need.
Yeah, it is. To me, it's just the attention, right?
Yes.
It's crazy how many people are watching on social media. It's fascinating to even going through stories, looking at people who watch you. Like, oh, you saw my property, or you saw my property and shared it. That little share button down the bottom. That's fascinating. So currently this is an evergreen video, so somebody might be watching this in 2031, right? But right now it's almost 2025, and this has been 2024 has been an interesting market. What expectations are you setting right now with like sitting down with a buyer for the first time saying, I want to buy a house, and you say, okay, this is how it's going to play out?
It's the same expectation I've said since day one. It's like, listen, we are going to do this clean and fast. Why? Because the market doesn't wait for you, and the house is not going to wait for you. So I've always had my same strategy is I like to meet face to face with everybody. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you don't meet face to face, you're losing that initial connection,
right?
Which is like now with this BBAs, I never used one, and I'm going to get a lot of whatevers, but I never needed to use one. Like my client was going to work with me regardless. Like you come to me, I was 100% a referral agent for 6 years. Now I have to explain to them, hey, this existed for a very, very long time. Last time you bought a house with me, you didn't have to sign it, but you have to sign it now. It's the law. So that's kind of like the first expectation that I have to set. It's like nothing's different. I'm still going to negotiate my commission with the seller, but you got to sign. Yep. Like you got to know how much I'm going to get paid, and I got to make sure that you're going to work with me till the end. But after that, we sit down, we do a buyer's consultations. My buyer's consultations are very thorough.
So let me ask you this. You said clean and fast. So I think a lot of agents right now, and I'm seeing it happen, even buyers, there's no sense of urgency.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Right. So how do you get them to clean's one thing, right? Because you're going to write a clean contract. You're going to negotiate clean. You understand the process. How do you get them to go fast?
I mean, through the process. Like I was going to say, like I get the lead. We meet in person. Mm-hmm. Meeting in person just skips like 4 or 5 steps.
Okay.
When we meet in person, we are doing that consultation. We're going through everything. Like, what's the process? Where do you work? I do a pre-approval before I call the lender. So I pre-approve my client. Like I ask specific questions.
Right. Income.
I run DTI. Mm-hmm. I do all that stuff. Okay. Once I know I have a deal, at that consultation, I'm going to be like, okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to confirm all this information. We're going to call a lender. He's going to run the credit. We're going to look at the debts you told me plus the income. We're going to start that pre-approval process. Once you leave out of here, if you don't have the documents with you right now, you're going to upload those documents by tonight. I'm going to get a notification. If you don't do it by tonight, I'm going to call you tomorrow. You got to upload them by tomorrow. And we're going to get a pre-approval by tomorrow, if not the next day.
It sounds like if I hired you as an agent, it feels like I'm hiring like a personal trainer. We're like, I don't want to work out. We're like, no. You told me you wanted to get in shape. We got to do this. This is what we're doing. You told me you want to buy a house. So I love that. But it's super cool.
It works because I feel like, no offense, but it's like anything. If I'm going to go work out, I'm not disciplined enough to go by myself.
Right.
I got to pay for a personal trainer.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go buy a house, motivation in the buyer at the beginning is what makes everything happen. Mm-hmm. The moment the client loses that motivation, they don't want to buy, or they're just going to find somebody else that gives them that motivation. So I got to get you pre-approved. Once you're pre-approved, I'm going to send you a list of properties. You're going to pick 5. We're going to go see them, and you're going to tell me which one are the 2 that you like. We're going to try to negotiate those 2, and then whatever one we win to the terms that you want, that's your house.
I'm gonna steal that. No, I love it. I mean, that's the dream, right? That's what I've done that multiple times as well. This is what it is. The longer you wait, the opportunities you're gonna miss, all that stuff too. But I do feel like your energy is. It's just you create an energy that I would listen to you, and I feel like your clients trust you and what you're saying. You're not gonna guide them the wrong way, which is super cool. Whatever the price point, right?
I mean, honestly, I'm just very raw. So you're either gonna like me or you're not. Not too long ago, I had to get into it with a client. I'm like, I'm gonna fire you.
Yeah.
I had to say,
well, personalities you have to like and trust you, right? And if those 2 things aren't there, then what's the point? Any relationship outside of business, right?
And it's like anything. Like, I don't mind you asking me questions. Mm-hmm. I don't. But when you're asking me the same question 7 times,
you're not listening.
You're either not listening or you're not trusting.
Right.
And if you're not, then what are we doing?
Right.
And the client was like, well, if you want to fire me, but then he was like, but let's just do it as you want to do it. So they're like, okay, fire me, but don't fire me. Just do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah, you're going to get them to where they want to go. They're just stubborn.
And then they're like, I know you're the best. I'm like, I don't need you to tell me I'm the best. I just need you to listen. I just need you to listen, and we're going to get you the house.
Right. I have 2 specific questions. I'm just curious. So now that we've kind of partnered together, I just noticed how many houses you sell and how many buyers you have, and it's fascinating. I'm sure everybody's always curious. most of your business is built on referrals, which is that's the way to go, right? If an agent is listening to this and is curious, because I see you all the time just doing a ton of deals, you're on the phone constantly, you always have business coming in. I'm sure it looks better on social media than it really is, but at the same time, what's your? I know that we've already talked about you meeting them in person and doing it fast and being thorough, but how do you get them to give you referrals years later?
I think it's because of the niche that I was working with. I was working with who no other agent wanted to work with. I was working with unqualified buyers, bad credit, low income. Yeah, they are a lot more work, but they're very grateful because you just help them do something and get that dream that so many people told them they couldn't. So you just become like that hero in their eyes. So just like you help them, they are going to want you to help other people. And so not only just that, but like I go to my clients' kids' parties, like birthday parties and whatever parties they invite me to, I'm there and I try to make it a point to be there. I also do like Christmas gifts at the end, like whoever buys a house with me, I'll send them like a gift. It was a year that it was too much. I did Thanksgiving, Halloween, it was Christmas, it was a lot. So I'm doing like gift cards and ornaments and candy.
Well, now you have hundreds and hundreds of past clients. There's a point where you're like,
but I'm still gonna want to keep doing that, but I want to do it as whoever buys with me that year and connectors. I have a lot of clients that have gone to that next level for me where they become connectors. They've sent me so many people that you become part of the team.
Do you ask for the referrals in the transaction, or just naturally they just know you just become such a hero to them that I have never asked. They're a fan. They're a raving fan.
I've never asked for a referral. Cool. They come to me sometimes. They're like, well, if I can't buy, my mom wants to buy, so I'm going to tell her to call you. So if they feel like I can make it right away just because of my time, they feel so grateful. They're like, well, I'm going to just still send you whoever. And I think that's what really gave me life and happiness for so long. And I still have it. It's just very time consuming. So that's why now I have an agent helping me and I have a team that's helping me, because I realized it started falling through the cracks a little bit because it was too many at one point, and I'm only one person.
Let me. That's a good transition, because I do have one more question about so I heard you say this to another agent since being around you, and I believe in this too, but not every agent thinks it. Coming from where you came from and now leading, you basically restarted your business. Like, what are you investing in to grow, to build? What do you think other agents should invest in? What shouldn't they invest in? Mistakes you've made. What are some things that you can help as a business owner?
Help. You need to invest in help. And what do I mean by that? The first person I hired was a transaction coordinator. Okay. I knew that paperwork is not what I need to be doing. I need to have someone that specializes
in-house
in it.
Transaction coordinator. Yes. So you taught her.
Well, she came taught.
Okay.
She was already a transaction coordinator for another big agent. And I was like, listen, I'm a face-to-face person.
So you pay her salary? You pay her?
Pay her per transaction.
Okay.
Which any new agent can do.
Totally.
You charge it to the client. It's part of your transaction fee. You pay your TC.
You get a commission. You can pay it too, right?
It's part of your operating costs. You go to an attorney has an operating cost. You pay for the fees. It's the same thing. So that's the first thing. That's the first person that I hired. So first thing I did, because I needed to focus on my clients, not on paperwork. I can't worry about paperwork. After that, I invested in a CRM. Still don't use it, but it helps. It's really hard.
I know it is.
My brain just doesn't think like that. I'm a pen and paper type of girl, and nobody can believe I sold 64 homes with a pen and paper. I'm like, listen, I can see it. It's easy. I scratch off the client next, and that's the way it works for me. And then I just go back if I need to. But again, the CRM helps to stay in touch.
Sure. Well, it also is a nice holding place for addresses, emails, right?
Yes. Now, the client, I got so spoiled, and the client used to reach out to me like, hey, it's so-and-so. And it just became, let's just say, a bad habit. Yep. So now I have the CRM and it works. But, now I have an office manager, sales manager. I have a personal assistant and hybrid, I call her. We call them commercial agents, so it's like a VA. I have an agent.
And what do they do for you on a daily basis?
If I'm here, they're the ones making calls, following up, talking, putting deals together. They're the ones helping me put it all together.
Okay.
So it gives me more time. I have an editor in-house too. My videographers, you can see, they try to follow me everywhere. And then we also have in-house lenders where I have 2 to 3 preferred lenders that they have access to my online office. And whenever we need one, whoever answers takes the lead.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. So I love watching your team operate because you guys are always just on the laptop. It's a Zoom, right?
It's a Zoom.
It's a
Zoom
live
office.
Zoom.
We have offices in the Zoom.
And it's fascinating. For those who haven't seen Julimar work, it's fascinating. And those who do, like Susie in Miami and Yasser is like, it's insane. Because you guys, it's like half English, half Spanish. And it's just like, but you just move so fast and everything is so efficient. I mean, I literally would hire you as my agent because I just know it's going to get done.
It has to get done. Somebody almost got fired.
What gave you that idea to put everybody in the same place, like virtually? Because it is like, it's a cost-effective way to build your business too, right? To use people overseas. But what gave you the idea of like, let's just make this office and we're all just going to work together at all times?
So honestly, I learned it from another agent.
Okay.
I had partnered up with other agents and we were going to do a lead team. And they came from a very corporate world where offices and this and that, and they were very technological. That's never been my thing, but they learned from me and I learned from them. They learned from me some of the training stuff and I learned from them some of the office organization stuff, technology. So I was like, you know what? I need to invest in the pro Zoom so I can have rooms. So like we have rooms. Everybody has an office in the Zoom, and then we have a sales office, we have a lender office, we have a training office, we have the editor's office. And I'm like, this is really efficient because they're there, they're working, they're my employees, and they get paid salaries and commissions. And I was like, you know what? This is very smart. And all I had to do was like train them. And some of them came trained. And now I have an office manager that is in charge of training on the sales department. He started, same week, he converted a client.
So they follow up with you, they do everything.
They do everything. They follow up with the client needs properties, they schedule my showings. If I can't do the showings, either my other agent will do the showings or they'll schedule them through Showami. They'll figure something out, but don't think that because they do all that, I'm not there.
Right.
I still talk to the client. The client still reaches out to me. I still oversee everything. When it gets difficult and I have to pick up the phone and fight with the agent, that's what I'm going to do. And I still negotiate the beginning to the end for the client. It's just all that follow-up stuff, all those email marketing, all that goes on the back end to build the brand. I can't do it anymore.
Right, it's fascinating. It really is fascinating, and it's really fun to watch you work. Last thing, we're going into a new year. Do you treat it different? What are some ambitions? Do you treat it? Do you treat it like a reset, or do you just kind of business as usual?
No, it's business as usual, but we have already started implementing strategies for next year. So don't take this anyway, Mark, but I'm marketing a lot in Miami.
Why did I take it the wrong way?
Because you keep saying I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you.
Oh, you're not leaving me.
I'm not going to leave you.
No way.
But
with me.
I'm starting to put a lot of money into Miami marketing and making everybody know, like, this is the next Manhattan. This is the next New York. This is where everybody's going, financial district, all the Silicon Valley people, everybody is going there. So I'm putting a lot of strategy and money into that marketing in that area. I'm going there every week. It just gets very exhausting, but it's good. I like it, and you get to learn so much. So
it's also a great opportunity for you. It really is, and I think that you have so much potential, and I can't wait to watch you take over the state.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and I hope I inspire some of the other agents. I remember talking to some of the agents, and when we went to the Real Deal. And they were like, how do you do it? How do you come here? I'm like, I don't know. I just take a trip, take a vacation.
You seize opportunity, and you're a hustler, and you make things happen. And that's what we're here. We're here to build. We're here to grow and take over.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you, Mark, today for your time.
Thanks for your insight. I kind of took over. I'm sorry, but I've been waiting for a moment to pick your brain, so I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm glad you came and took a little bit of your time. And well, if you want to see more content like this in the future, just make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Here are going to be all of our handles, and we'll see you on the next one.